Continuing with House Bill's second reading regular calendar, returning to page 3 of the printed calendar, House Bill 1538, a bill to amend and reenact a wide variety of sections of the Code of Virginia relating to higher education. The bill is reported for the Committee on Education with an amendment, and Mr. Speaker, there is a floor amendment as well.
The gentleman from Fairfax, Mr. Lemunian.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move adoption of the committee amendment.
Questions on adoption of the committee amendment? As many as favor that motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Committee amendment is agreed to. The clerk will report a floor amendment.
Floor amendment offered to the introduced version by Delegate Simon on line 949. Line 949, after the word sex, insert sexual orientation, gender identity.
Mr. Speaker, point of order.
Gentleman from Carolina, Mr. Rock.
Mr. Speaker, my point of order would be speaking to the amendment before us. When I look at the section 23.1, 2415, a part of this bill, there was no change made to that entire section except a minor word change from the retirement program to retirement plan, given certain changes that have occurred within the VRS. There are absolutely no changes embodied in this bill relative the terms or conditions of employment. And given that it was never embodied in this measure, would the Speaker not concur that the proposed amendment goes beyond the original scope of the legislation and therefore is not properly before us?
Gentleman from Fairfax, Mr. Simon.
Mr. Speaker, I think that it's very germane. I think that the purpose of a Code Commission bill, as I understood it, because we had a bunch of bills referred to the Code Commission last session, was to look at issues of modernizing the code. In fact, part of the mission of the Code Commission is to delete and update obsolete provisions of the code. So my argument would be that this code section is just obsolete. In today's day, modern day and age, most of our anti-discrimination clauses, most parts of the country include sexual orientation and gender identity. So I think this is perfectly appropriate change to make in a Code Commission bill, and I hope to be the will of the body to adopt the amendment.
Okay, we probably ought to take a minute to talk about it if you all want to come on up here. The bill introduced by the gentleman from Fairfax was a Code Commission change, changing the word program to plan. And the gentleman from Fairfax's amendment was a far broader policy decision than that. So I'm going to rule that it is not properly before us. Shall the bill pass? Are we on?
We got the committee amendment, I think.
Where are we? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Shall the bill be engrossed and passed to its third reading? We get to talk about it tomorrow. As many as favor that motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and passed to its third reading.